Hello, Virgo. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, using the Star Spinner Tarot by Trungles. There's a website for this too, chroniclebooks.com. So I'm guessing there's going to be a bunch of other decks there. I kind of want to go check it out, but I haven't yet. We'll see if that happens anytime soon. If you notice me with a bunch of new decks, that's probably what happened. The Supportive Oracle cards, Energy Oracle cards by Sandra Ann Taylor. I didn't find a website on this one, but if you... What are you doing, bud? If you look her up, you'll find her. Fair warning, the cat is all about it at the moment, so he might jump into frame. Please don't. Stop, bud. Come on. Can you go play somewhere else? Nope. Nope, not an option. So that's that. Okay. What do we have for Virgo? It's the curtain, huh? You like that curtain? Can you not? Can you just not, buddy? He says, nope, I'm do it. I want to, I'm do it. Virgo, let's stay... Ooh, that's really good. Virgo energy coming in here. I don't use this term often, but I feel like, yeah, Virgo coming in hot. So whatever that means, I think that's a positive thing. I don't really use that term. So, coming in hot. What do we mean by that? See, something is stuck. Something is stuck. Okay, something is stuck. Hanged Man, Four of Swords. Four of Swords? Yep. This is in the environment. So when I'm getting this, I can't let this keep doing this. There's cat hair everywhere, dude. Can you stop? It says, no, the heater's right behind me. This is great. I'm going to start sneezing soon. So, alright, is this adding to this reading, like my cat messing with me? Because I'm feeling like I'm waiting for a moment to happen. And I'm also sitting there like, should I be doing something about it? Because something isn't moving, something is like resting. But this is kind of like somebody like sleeping in a little bit. It's kind of like I have plans, I have things I need to do. And this person sleeping in is holding off my plans for whatever reason. Like either I need them to help me, or if I start doing what I need to do, it's going to wake them up, and we got a whole issue with that. So it's kind of like the situation isn't doing anything. It's stuck, but it's not going to be stuck permanently with the Hangman. And I'm like, I need to do stuff. I got things I got to do, and I'm holding off here. But it's kind of like I need to start doing something. And it's kind of like the Two of Pentacles, kind of like I need to start doing something. But I don't want to go out of order. But I'm getting this really strong feeling like, even though that's not my jam, I don't like things out of order. I really don't like it, is what I'm feeling. I'm feeling also that if I don't want to get behind, I need to get ahead of what I can get ahead of now. Don't knock that over, bud. Come on. He is all full of it at the moment. The cat loves your reading. Fair warning, he just loves it. So, really? Did you seriously just do that? Can you not? Come on, man. Come on, man. Be a nice cat. I know it's morning, but come on. Okay. He hasn't jumped up into frame yet. We'll see. It's all spicy today. It's a piece of your hair, probably. You know that? It's probably a piece of your hair. I don't know why you're so excited. I don't know why you're so excited. Yep, there it is. If I can get it. Came off of you. I think it came off of you. Okay. Sorry for the distraction. You don't want to do things out of order. But I'm getting like the same type of feel, like you're trying to be in a good mood about it. Because the situation, this is what the coming in hot is about. You got the cornucopia. But the thing is with the cornucopia, if you look at the literal picture, there's a lot of fruits and vegetables. There's probably, I don't know, fruits and vegetables, a bunch of that, right? If you have that out on a table, probably good for a few days. But at some point, it's going to start to turn. And it's just... when it starts to turn, you can still, cut out the bad spots and probably use most of the stuff. But the longer it sits there, the less value it has. The cornucopia, that's how I read the cornucopia, is value now. Value to be used now. It doesn't have a long shelf life. If you want to make the best of this, we got to start dealing with it. At the very least, we got to cut it up and put it away. Maybe you can freeze some of it and get some extra longevity, but you still got to put the effort in, gather it together, do what you need to do with it so you can conserve it for later and possibly put it in the freezer. But still, even then, in my opinion anyway, it only has so much time in the freezer before it starts losing its flavor and gets freezer burn. But something has to be done. And it's kind of like, okay, I don't want to go out of order, but I'm seeing this possibility here. The situation is stuck. I don't want to go out of, I keep feeling this, like I don't want to go out of order, but I think I have to. And I'm not happy about it with the Nine of Swords. It really is annoying me, kind of like, if we could just do this in order, if this situation would move forward, if people would get out of my way, we could just do it in order, it could be fine, but people are not getting out of my way. And if I don't start moving now, we're going to lose value here. So, you are deciding you're going to have to do this. And it's kind of like you're making this decision on your own. This needs to happen. It's kind of like you know it needs to happen. It's just kind of like I have to do this out of order. So I have to jump the line, do what I can do, save it for later, and then add it in later at the appropriate time. And it's kind of, it's not that bad I feel like once you get your plan, like your adjustment plan in order, it's kind of like, you know what? It's better than losing the value of the situation, and I'm not going to lose the value here. And you move forward with that. It's the Nine of Cups. So nothing is lost. Nothing is lost, and you make the decision, this is how this is going to go. I'm going to jump the line, prepare what I can prepare, hold it to the side, and then add it in when it's the right time. It's what I have to do. It's also kind of annoying to me. I'm also feeling kind of like I'm going to have to do more effort than other people. But again, I'm not willing to sacrifice the outcome. I'm not willing to sacrifice the outcome because, you know, what'll happen is, well, I'll get this, like, for example, if it's getting like 10 pieces of cake, whatever, I don't know why. If I wait, there's only going to be 5 pieces of cake, and it's going to be divided evenly among all of us who participated at the end. So I'm going to end up slating myself. I'd rather have the 10 pieces of cake, then there's 3 of us working at it, well, I'll get like a good 3 pieces, and I should get the extra because I stepped in and fixed things. But like it's kind of like if there's 3 of us and there's only 5 pieces of cake, we all get 1 piece, and a couple of us get an extra piece. Or maybe we divide that up differently. It's just basically the payoff. You know what I mean? That's why I'm using cake, I guess. So it's like half the payoff if I hold it back. And it's not fair, but I feel like I'm not willing to sacrifice my payoff over this. I'm not. Other people aren't moving like they're supposed to, but that's fine. I'm not willing to sacrifice my payoff. So you move forward. You do what you have to do. Ooh, you got good energy here. I love it when fire and earth come together. It happens all the time, I swear, when I read. I notice it a lot. Fire and air, or fire and earth, I should say, is coming in. They're not normally compatible, but when I read for them, I swear they find ways to show me that they are. Sometimes. There's a lot of action coming in, but what's behind it is the King of Pentacles. It's like behind it. This is how it was in the reading. It was kind of stuck like that, which is telling me you stabilized this whole situation because of what you did, jumping ahead because you had to, preparing what you had to have prepared, putting it to the side, and then putting it in later. I'm getting it's very noticeable. Like things are allowed to move forward and progress quite well, and it's very noticeable. It's kind of like, you know, when you come to a garden and half of the things are already planted and they're starting to grow. You know that didn't just happen by magic. Like somebody just didn't wink and blink and all of a sudden everything was planted. That didn't happen. What happened was somebody put in the effort. And it's obvious that you did. In my opinion, that's what I'm feeling anyway. It's obvious that you did that. You're the reason that things are not behind. That, you know, especially if you think of it like growing plants. If you are supposed to plant things in March, just for argument's sake, depending on where you live, and you don't do it till May, like you're going to lose out in 2 months of worth of growth, right? You going ahead and putting it in the appropriate time, just using March as depending on where you live, you know. You putting it in at the appropriate time, you got 2 months of growth there. you would have been behind by 2 months if you hadn't gone ahead. It's very noticeable, and the bounty is going to be there because of what you did, and it's very, very obvious. There are some people, like, there's a good community effort. Like, I'm seeing this above it. Like, I think that's you being acknowledged. It's you being acknowledged, but I'm also getting kind of like, all right, I did that. Now are we compensating me for that? Like, is something a little extra going to go my way because of this? Like, are we going to realize I took the initial effort and there's a lot of extra bounty coming in here, or the appropriate bounty is coming in here because I did, and we'd have a lot less if I didn't? So are we going to realize that? And I feel like you have a question mark. Like, I don't see you causing an issue about it, but you're like, are we going to realize that? Are we going to, like, am I going to get my due? Because I did good. There's people here, and I feel like I'm worried. Like, they're taking action. They're moving forward from that point forward. I get the Two of Wands. Like, they're realizing, hey, we need to step up. We need to get up to speed. And we need to do our part. The Virgo's done what they need to do, and they made sure that we wouldn't miss out. So we got to step up and make sure that, this continues on and comes to that natural or original fruition we thought was going to happen, because we are going to get it. It looks like, thanks to the Virgo. And you're still wondering, like, all right, are we going to acknowledge, my effort to keep it so that we had total payoff instead of half the payoff? Are we going to know that? Are we going to know that? Are we going to say that? Is somebody going to say something? Is somebody going to acknowledge that? While it's going through this next stages, while it's growing, if you will, growing to the next part, like we're using plants, right? So while it's in that stage where the vegetables or fruit are growing and they're not at the point being picked, they're not at that point yet, I don't think there's going to be an answer. I just feel like there's a lot of action, there's a lot going on, the situation is still growing. When we get to the point of fruition, do I have that card out here? I don't. But when we get to that point where it's kind of like, all right, now we need to see what we ended up with, are you going to say something? I'm not sure. Let's go a little farther, because I'm like, I see you watching the situation, but there's success here. There's a crazy amount of success. The level of success, I feel like other people are looking at this kind of like, this doesn't usually have this level of success for some reason. Or like when they do it on their own, this type of situation doesn't have this level of success. So this is beyond what they're normally used to when it comes to the level of success. It's clearly because you were involved with it, in my opinion. I think they do realize that. I don't know if it's being talked about just at first. This is like the beginning of like another phase, I feel. Because at first you're like, okay. Like, they seem to be commenting that there's much more bounty here than normal that they're used to getting. And they just seem to kind of be in a little bit of bewilderment about it, even though it's a Six of Wands, but you got the Six of Swords on your side. Kind of like they're not acknowledging it. And you're like, okay. I don't know. It's like they just seem to be bewildered. Like, wow, we got so much out of this crop. Like, wow. Like, I've never had a crop this good. And I feel like you're looking at it like, well, because I started it on time. Because probably you cheat yourself out of those 2 months of growing where it's supposed to start, so you have 2 months less. Like, it's like you don't get as much because you don't start it on time. And I feel like you're like, I know why it is. Like, you seem to know why it is they don't get the same level of success normally. They don't get this level of success. They just don't. And you're like, well, that's because you start it late, usually. And I wasn't going to allow that to happen, so I moved ahead and did what I had to do. Even though it was uncomfortable, I did it because I wasn't going to cheat myself out of the reward. This is not bad. This is just one of those moments where you're like, you know why they're not used to that. I do think, like, they're making a big move forward with you, though. They want you a part of more things. Because I feel like at some point they have to acknowledge it in some way that you are a big piece of success. you're a big component to their success, because they're like, I get success on my own, but not as much as I do when I have the Virgo helping me. And they want to do more with you. They're like, you know what? I actually thought that Virgo was a little pushy. I thought that Virgo was a little bit overdone. I don't think they said anything, because I'm not getting negativity coming towards you from them. But I feel like they might have kind of felt that way and not said it. Kind of like the Virgo is a bit much. They're going a little over the top. They maybe thought you just went a little too far with things, that you were a little bit too picky. But now they're like, no, the Virgo had their sights on the prize, and they got the prize. Like, they made this work out for all of us. And they're looking at you differently. Again, I don't think they said anything in the beginning, but I think that's how they were looking at you. Like, oh, the Virgo's a bit much. They're a little bit over the top here. They're a little bit too nitpicky. And now they're like, no, I don't think so. I think because of the Virgo doing things the way they do things, that's why we got this extra outcome. And you're like, it's not extra outcome. I feel like that's your side. Kind of like, no, this isn't extra. This is what it's supposed to be when you do things right. That's how I feel it coming through. Like, no, this is how it's supposed to go. When you do things right, this is how it works out. I think it's funny because I don't see, there's no negativity, no exchange of negativity. But I feel like the way they're looking at it and the way you're kind of like, well, you do it the way you're supposed to. You stay to the plan. You get what you're supposed to out of it. They see your value. Like, they have to learn through it. Through experience, they're like, that Virgo, they're pretty good. Like, they really are. You've got the 7th chakra coming in. I'm not getting an exchange of, like, direct communication. I'm getting more like them asking you or inviting you to be a part of more things. This is opening more doors to you. And I feel like you're realizing that this person seems to have some influence. And they think you deserve and should and need to be a part of some better things with them, because you have proven your value. You have literally proven your value. Now, the connection with this person, there's a lot of these cards. There's a lot of lovers cards in this deck. There just is. This is a really good lovers card. This is kind of like a connection to where things are matching up the way they should. The lovers card is sometimes talking about a great amount of success that when I connect to it. And I'm getting like you're being pulled into another situation. You have, is that the 9 or 10? What is this? What do we got? 5 of Cups, which is usually a history card, and I think that's correct. I feel like you're looking at where you've been with this person. But I feel like you're also kind of like, if we go into other things, I feel like you are talking about that. If we go into other things, I want to make sure we start on plan and that everybody's on plan at the same time. Things go a lot easier if we all do what we're supposed to do when we're supposed to do them. It's not negative. It's just kind of like just putting it out there. Like, the next time I'd like everybody to be on point, to not sleep in, to do things when we need to do things so I don't have to wait and then we all get onto it at the same time. Then it's easier for everybody if we start on time. I feel like I keep saying that, like, on time, like on time, and I feel like you're being received well. I feel like people are going, yeah, no, you're right. We waited too long. You saved the day. I think that at this point it will be acknowledged because I feel like they're realizing, if they want this level of success, they got to kind of listen to you a little bit more. They got to take you a bit more seriously and realize you're not nitpicky. You're not being particular. You're just saying what needs to happen for the highest amount of success. And they're realizing that, like, okay, the Virgo does know what they're doing, and if we like it or not, if we want this level of success, and we do, we got to start on this temple path with Virgo, and we got to listen. All you're doing, you just highlight things every now and then. I don't think you're, like, super bossy. I mean, everybody's different, I know. I'm not getting a bossy energy. I'm just getting, like, every now and then just kind of like, hey, we want to start on time. We want to do what we need to do. Like, don't sleep in. I want to get things done. Like, you're kind of like, this time around, like, I want to do things in order this time. I don't want to have to make a secondary plan to make sure things don't get thrown off. People seem to be working with you. I feel like it's going to be a work in progress. You should be able to connect to a few allies, by the way, into this next situation, to where they feel kind of the way you do. And you, like, those people that feel the way you do, you kind of nudge them first, like it's almost time to start, make sure the other people are ready to start, and they'll kind of get the rest of the group going for you, because I feel like that would be easier for you. There's a couple people who are pretty much, they're in agreement. I want to say they're in agreement with the way you want to do things. I don't know if they do it the way you do it normally, but they're in agreement. But when it's time to move forward, kind of nudge them first and kind of ask them what they think about if the other people are ready, and they'll take care of that legwork for you, get the other people moving, so it's not all on you to get everybody moving. Keep that in mind. All right, I think we're there. I like how this turned out. I think this was great. See where the cat was so excited about it. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.